Amora came to the city with only one small box, 2 faded dresses, and a heart full of hope. Amora was not sent to the city because her parents wanted luxury. She was sent because poverty is cruel to dreams. Her parents lived in the village, good people, hardworking people, but poverty had a loud voice there. School fees rose every year, and the farm no longer yielded enough. They loved Amora fiercely, but love could not pay rising school fees. Every term became a battle. Every promotion class felt like a miracle. One night, her father sat quietly under the moonlight and said the words that would change Amora's life forever. She must go to the city. Her mother cried, not because she didn't trust her sister-in-law, but because a mother's heart knows when a child is walking into suffering. Mama Chinedu, her father's younger sister, agreed to take Amora in. Her husband, Baba Chinedu, was a wealthy man. His children, Chinedu and Chika, attended one of the biggest private schools in the city, wearing uniforms that cost more than Amora's entire wardrobe. Their house in the city was a mansion with high fences and security gates. Amora thought she was lucky. She was wrong. From the first week, Amora learned her place. She would not attend the big private school where Chinedu and Chika went. Public school is good enough for her kind, Mama Chinedu said. So Amora attended a government school where fees were cheap, classrooms were crowded, and hope had to fight for space. Every morning, Amora woke before dawn to sweep the compound and wash plates from the night before. Sometimes she went to school hungry, sometimes dizzy, but she was brilliant. She loved books the way some children love toys, and slowly her teachers noticed her. Yet every afternoon, as she walked back home, her heart beat fast with fear, because school was her freedom, home was her punishment. Soon, her name began to appear among the best pupils, but that was not what made Mama Chinedu afraid. Amora's hands carried a gift. From leftover yarn and torn threads, she created beauty. Crochet flowed from her fingers like it was born there. Bags, caps, skirts, tops, dresses. Each piece carried patience, balance, and quiet excellence. Her teachers noticed. Some would hold her work in awe. Who taught you this? You should never stop. You will go far. They loved her, not because she begged for attention, but because talent bows to no one. That was the problem. Mama Chinedu saw it too, and jealousy crept into her heart like poison. At home, Amora's joy died daily. Chika mocked her clothes. Chinedu hid her books. Mama Chinedu's words were knives wrapped in smiles. One day, the maid was sent away. Why should I pay a maid when Amora is here? Mama Chinedu declared. She has time. That is why she sits and does nonsense crochet. From that day, Amora became everything. Cook, cleaner, washer, errand girl. Still, she woke early to read. Still, she crocheted late at night, hands aching, heart steady. Life became harder for her. Mama Chinedu stopped her from sleeping in a room. Sometimes, she slept on the cold tiles of the kitchen, curled beside empty pots that still smelled of food she was never allowed to eat fresh. Other nights, Mama Chinedu sent her to the balcony, where mosquitoes sang all night, and the city lights reminded her that help was always close, but never for her. If rain falls, that's where you belong, her auntie would say without blinking. Amora learned to sleep lightly, too deeply, and she might miss her 4 a.m. wake-up call. She ate leftovers, food scraped from plates after everyone had finished, sometimes cold, sometimes sour, sometimes nothing. When visitors came, Amora stood behind the curtains, stomach burning, listening to laughter while her hands trembled from hunger. Chika and Chinedu never let her forget her place. Their friends came often, boys and girls with shiny phones and loud voices. "This is our help serve," Chika would announce, snapping her fingers. "Bring water, carry my bag, kneel down." They laughed when she spoke softly. They mocked her worn sandals. They laughed harder when they discovered she could crochet. "So this is what village girls do," one boy said, pulling her handmade bag and throwing it on the floor. "Slave work." Amora picked it up silently. She always did. Any small mistake earned her a slap. A cup not shiny enough, salt too much, salt too little. A look that Mama Chinedu imagined was disrespect.
Ow! What was...
Pa! The sound echoed louder than her cry. Baba Chinedu noticed, but he looked away. Silence became Amora's second prison. Yet, in school, Amora was alive. She was one of the best students. Teachers smiled when she raised her hand. Her crochet work began to circulate like rumor, quiet, powerful, undeniable. That was when Kopakemi arrived. She was young, elegant, and kind in a way Amora had never seen. She wore neat NYSC khaki and spoke gently. People whispered that she came from a wealthy background but chose teaching anyway. Kopakemi noticed Amora's hands first. "They are tired hands," she said softly one day, "but they create beauty." It was the first time an adult spoke to Amora like she mattered. One week, Amora fell sick. Mama Chinedu ignored it. Sickness is for lazy people. Amora still cooked, still cleaned, still went to school, until she collapsed in class, burning with fever, weak like a leaf. Doctors said she would have died if help came later. Kopakemi paid the hospital bills, sat by her bed, fed her with her own hands. Mama Chinedu never came. When Amora returned home weak and thinner, the cruelty worsened. One night, Baba Chinedu was away. Chinedu and his friends were drinking. They blocked Amora near the back corridor. "You think teachers like you because you are special," Chinedu sneered. "Let us show you what you are really worth." Hands reached for her. Amora screamed. By God's mercy, the gate man was on his rounds. He heard the struggle. He ran. The boys scattered. Mama Chinedu blamed Amora. "You want to seduce my son?" She beat her. She locked her outside. That night, Amora slept on the balcony again, shaking, broken, praying not to die. Still, she crocheted. She crocheted pain into patterns, fear into beauty, tears into strength. Not with joy, but with quiet desperation. By then, Amora had grown close to Kopakemi. The young COP member did not just teach her. She loved her like a sister she never had. With Kopakemi, Amora finally learned what it felt like to speak without fear. One afternoon after school, Amora broke down. Words poured out. The balcony nights, the kitchen floor, the hunger, the slaps, the shame, the almost rape, the silence of a house where she did not belong. Kopakemi cried. She pulled Amora into her arms and held her tightly. "You are not a slave," she whispered. "You are a gift." From that day, Kopakemi became Amora's quiet rescue. Whenever Amora came to school hungry, Kopakemi bought her food. Sometimes she packed it secretly so Amora could eat without shame. She bought her yarn, good yarn, the kind Amora had only admired from afar. Every morning, Kopakemi would wait at the junction, pick Amora up, and drop her off close to school. In the afternoon, she did the same. "So Mama Chinedu won't know you didn't trek," she said. Amora crocheted endlessly for her. Bags, caps, blouses, gloves, dresses. Each piece was made with gratitude stitched into every loop. Kopakemi wore them proudly. People admired them, some even asked to buy, but Kopakemi refused. "These ones are priceless," she said. Then came the announcement. The government school was holding a state-sponsored talent show, supported by the Ministry of Arts and Culture. It was not just for fun, it was serious. The winner would receive a full scholarship to the state university. For many students, it was just another competition. For Amora, it was escape. When Kopakemi told her, Amora couldn't speak. She only nodded, afraid that if she opened her mouth, hope would spill out and disappear. Kopakemi did not hesitate. She bought plenty yarn, colors Amora had never worked with before. Soft, rich, alive. Show them who you are, she said. Amora worked like her life depended on it, because it did. She stayed back in school every day, crocheting before going home. Her fingers ached, her eyes burned, but the pieces came alive. Dresses that flowed like water, bags that spoke elegance, skirts, blouses, sweatshirts, each one flawless. Teachers stopped to watch. Students whispered. Some applauded quietly. Amora kept everything hidden at school, waiting for the day she would transfer them to Kopakemi's place for safekeeping. Then came that day, the day Kopakemi did not come to school, CDS duty. Amora's heart sank. She stood in the classroom, staring at her work, weeks of pain, hope, and survival. School was closing. She had no choice. She packed everything carefully and took them home. When she arrived at the mansion, her chest tightened. She did not go inside. She went straight to the back balcony, the place where she sometimes slept when she was punished. She hid the crocheted items behind the old door, covering them with a torn cloth. She thought she was safe. She was wrong. Shika saw her, watched silently, then smiled. That night, Shika walked into her mother's room. "Mommy," she said casually, "Amora is hiding something behind the balcony." Mama Chinedu's eyes darkened. Mama Chinedu did not ask questions. She never did. That night, after dinner, when the house had gone quiet and Baba Chinedu had retired to his room, she called Amora. "Come here." Amora's heart dropped into her stomach. She stood in front of her auntie with her head bowed, hands shaking. "What are you hiding at the back balcony?" Amora's lips trembled. It's my crochet, auntie." Mama Chinedu laughed, not a warm laugh, the kind that comes before pain. "So you still have time to be doing rubbish?" She stood up and walked toward the balcony, Amora following her behind like a condemned prisoner. Mama Chinedu pulled the cloth away. Silence. For a brief second, even she was stunned. The dresses were beautiful. The bags looked expensive. The workmanship was undeniable. And that was when jealousy fully woke up. "So this is what you have been hiding," she hissed. "You want to disgrace my children?" Before Amora could explain, the slap landed. Pa! She fell. Mama Chinedu began to tear the crochet pieces apart. Threads snapped, stitches unraveled, weeks of pain fell apart in her hands. "No scholarship, no city dream. You will not be greater than my children." Amora crawled forward. "Auntie, please, it's for a school talent show, please." Another slap. Chika and Chinedu watched from the doorway. They did not stop her. They smiled. When Mama Chinedu finished, the balcony floor was covered in tangled yarn and broken dreams. She locked Amora outside. That night, Amora slept beside the ruins of her hope. She did not cry loudly. She cried the way people cry when they are tired of surviving. The next morning, Amora went to school with swollen eyes. Kopakemi noticed immediately. What happened? Amora tried to speak. No words came out. At break time, she finally showed her the torn pieces. Kopakemi sat down slowly. Her hands shook. "Oh God," she whispered. Then she looked at Amora. "We will not stop." Amora shook her head. "It's gone." Kopakemi held her face. "No," she said firmly. "Listen to me. Talent does not tear." The talent show day arrived. Amora almost didn't go. Her body was there, but her spirit was broken. Kopakemi picked her up at the junction like always. She handed her a garment bag. Inside was a crochet dress Amora had given her as a birthday gift, the very first one. "I kept it safe," she said softly. "Wait." Amora's hands trembled. That dress carried no fear, only love. At the talent show, students sang, danced, acted. Then Amora's name was called. She stepped onto the stage alone. No music, no backup. Just her and her work. When the judges touched the dress, they paused. They asked questions. She answered quietly. The hall went silent. Then applause rose, slow, then thunderous. When the results were announced, Amora did not hear her name at first. Then she did. Winner. Full scholarship. Amora collapsed into tears. Kopakemi held her tightly. That night, Amora did not return to the mansion. Amora followed Kopakemi home. For the first time since she came to the city, she slept on a bed. Not the kitchen floor, not the balcony. A real bed with a pillow that smelled of soap and peace. She smiled in her sleep. She slept without fear. The next morning, Kopakemi did something Amora never expected. "We're going to the village," she said. Amora froze. She hadn't seen her parents in so long. She had hidden her pain in letters that always said, "I'm fine." When they arrived, Amora saw her mother first. She dropped her bag and broke down. She cried the kind of cry that comes when a child finally feels safe enough to tell the truth. She told them everything. The hunger, the slaps, the balcony nights, the fear, the almost rape, the broken dreams, and the dress that was destroyed. Her parents cried with her. Her father held his head and wept. Her mother clutched Amora and refused to let go. But amid the tears, there was joy. Their child had won a scholarship. Their suffering had not been in vain. That day, with shaking hands but peaceful hearts, they handed Amora over to Kopakemi. "Please," her mother said through tears, "take care of her like your own." Kopakemi nodded. "I already do." Back in the city, Mama Chinedu noticed something was wrong. Amora did not return. One day passed, then two. Chika complained. Chinedu was restless. Fear entered that house for the first time. Then the call came. Amora's father. "She is with us," he said firmly, "and now she is safe. Don't bother looking for her again." Mama Chinedu was silent. For the first time, she had lost control. Amora stayed with Kopakemi. She wrote her WAEC. She wrote her JAMB. She passed them at once. All the while, she continued crocheting, stronger now, freer, fearless. She gained admission to the university to study theatre arts, a course that allowed her creativity to breathe. After Kopakemi finished her service here, she opened a fashion store. Amora's designs filled the shop. And then something else happened. Kopakemi's mother, a wealthy businesswoman in Lagos Island Market, noticed the work. She saw the quality. She saw the originality. She saw the story behind the hands. With her influence, doors opened quickly, very quickly. Orders came, shows came, recognition followed. Kemi became the manager. Amora became the producer, designing, creating, studying, growing. The girl who once slept on balconies was now dressing people who had never known hunger. After years of struggle, pain, and perseverance, Amora finished university. Not just finishing, she graduated with a first-class degree in theatre arts. At her convocation, she invited her parents. Her mother wept openly, her father's chest heaving with pride. "You made it, our child," her father whispered. "You made it," her mother repeated, clutching her hands. Amora turned to Kemi and her mother, who had supported her like family from the beginning. "Thank you," she said softly, tears glistening in her eyes, "for loving me when no one else did, for believing in me when the world doubted me." Kemi hugged her tightly, and her mother nodded, proud beyond words. After the ceremony, Amora led her parents outside. There, in front of them, was a small 3-bedroom bungalow, brand new, built just for them. And in front of the house, a small grocery store, stocked to the brim with goods, so her parents would never go hungry again. Her mother gasped, her father's eyes filled with tears. "This is our home?" her mother asked, voice trembling. Amora smiled. "Yes, this is yours, for every sacrifice, for every tear, for every time you prayed for me. Then she turned to Kemi, "And this is for you." She handed her a small luxury car, a gift for treating her not as a student, not as a ward, but as a sister. Kemi laughed through tears. "You didn't have to." "You did everything for me," Amora said. "Now it's my turn to show you love." Soon after, Amora received a letter. She had been appointed to serve at the Ministry of Arts and Culture of her state. Her name was no longer whispered in jealousy. It was celebrated. Her crochet, once a source of mockery and hatred, became her signature. Her talent, once destroyed by cruel hands, became her legacy. She had survived hunger, cruelty, fear, and oppression, and she had built not just a career, but a life that honored love, gratitude, and resilience. Somewhere, Mama Chinedu heard the name Amora on the social media. She recognized it, and for the rest of her life, she would know this truth. You can break a child's comfort, but if you cannot break her spirit, she will rise anyway. No cruelty can erase a gifted spirit, and no poverty can stop a dream stitched together with love. Now, I want to ask you, if you were in Amora's shoes, would you have survived the way she did? How would you react if someone you trusted constantly tried to break your dreams? And most importantly, what is your talent that no one can take away from you? Think about it, because like Amora, sometimes your gift is the key to changing your whole life.